The Dream Center has done an astronomical amount of work here at Delaware. Really, it's quite unique. Nothing I've ever seen before in terms of bridging the connection between school and home. With the Dream Center and through Jacobsville Kids Zone, they, working together, are driven to support Delaware, its administrators, Delaware teachers, Delaware families, and above all, students. You know, so often we think of growth, we think of numbers and data, which is extremely important when we want to know where the growth is. I want to first touch on the growth that we see in smiles, that sparkle in the eye, the positive outlook. Sorry, I want to cry. Those are things that I think maybe aren't measurable with a number, but we see that pride and the beginning of that perseverance and that resiliency and stamina that is being built through the work that the Dream Center is doing with all of us here at Delaware. When we talk about numbers, though, and data pieces, when we look at our assessments in the classroom, our students who are able to be part of Jacobsville Kids Zone and also go to Dream Center for programming, they show immense growth on meeting their projected growth on NWEA scores. They also are performing and meeting proficiency on their assessments in the classroom. And when we look at other pieces like low-level referrals or office discipline referrals, out-of-school suspensions, tardies and absences, those have continued to decrease through the implementation of Jacobsville Kids Zone and the work with the peacemakers, the tutors, and Jeremy and John, and all of the wraparound supports that have been implemented through the Dream Center. And when I think of grit, that's something we throw around in society, but I think of the profound impact that has happened here at Delaware because of the Dream Center and the grit that is being developed in our students. We know that grit is that perseverance and that passion for lifelong, extended term goals. Grit is a greater indicator of earnings, happiness, and lifelong successes, if you will. That grit is a greater indicator than IQ and talent. So when we take all the scores of NWEA and formative and summative assessments, but we also look at the positive outlooks of life that these students and their families are able to hone, we see the impact and we're able to see what we're working toward. More importantly, the families and the students are beginning to have a common goal that they're working toward as well. Peacemakers are a stronghold here at Delaware. When we think of ACEs, those adverse childhood experiences, the one piece of the puzzle that has to be in place to reverse those ACEs is that trusting adult. And by having peacemakers in our school, not only are they linking the curriculum in the school day to curriculum after school and even in the evenings for our students, but they're providing that adult who students are able to count on through thick and thin. They're that smile that they can count on. They're the person who they can rely on to be here during the day, at lunch and recess, after school, and even in the home if necessary. And if our students are able to have that one constant in their life through the peacemakers, we know the impact will be amazing. The peacemakers also are able to reinforce any expectations and group plans that the teachers have in relationship to the curriculum and the social emotional pieces within and outside of the classroom. Wow, how would I like to see the Peacemaker program grow? Where do we start? It would be amazing to have a Peacemaker in every grade level. Right now, we have a handful of peacemakers in particular grade levels. They infiltrate homerooms to provide those supports. They help at lunch and recess. But to think of the impact that could happen if we had a peacemaker in every grade level in the future, down the road, potentially every classroom, and to think how could we continue to bridge that connection between teacher to student, teacher to parent, student to parent, community to school, through the peacemakers, that would be achievable. An amazing facet to the peacemakers is the fact that they are able to provide that stronghold, that consistent, constant, reliable person in our students' lives. So often when I think of my parents or my aunts and uncles or my grandparents, and the people with whom I work have that same view of what we think of a reliable adult is: a parent who is always there, a grandparent who's there is there for us, an aunt or uncle. We want to make sure that our students at Delaware have that constant, the person with whom they can connect to no matter what, they know will be there for them through thick and thin, and who lets them know it's okay to fail, but picks them back up to help them succeed. When the peacemaker enters a classroom, I see students' eyes light up. Students oftentimes, even though they may not be following the group plan, bolt out of their seats to greet their peacemakers. Students reach out to their peacemakers in school if they're needing help, that reach out to them in programming after school, and they also reach out to them during the summer and on weekends. And the fact that the peacemakers are available to these students speaks volumes to their commitment to not only Dream Center, not only Delaware, not only the Jacobsville community, but their commitment to these individual students and their varying needs.